What's up guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've recorded and I don't have any excuses. I was just being lazy, to put it straight. But I'm back, okay, I'm back, and I'm gonna upload regularly now. So I'm gonna stick to some sort of schedule. We're gonna see how things go after the first couple of videos and hopefully I can make this a more regular thing. We're back, that's what matters. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about my journey to medicine. So I'm going to talk to you guys about how I got into medicine when I didn't have the grades. Now, the reason I'm making this video is back when I was applying to medicine, I was kind of looking for this type of video on YouTube. I was looking for someone who had similar grades and a similar circumstance to me who had made it. And the reason I was looking for it was because I think I just needed a bit of hope. So I'm hoping this can provide a bit of hope to people who are in a similar situation to me 1 or 2 years ago. And I mean, I'm in medical school, so if I got in, who's to say that you can't do it? While I'm talking about my journey, I'm going to highlight some of the mistakes that I made along my journey to medicine and kind of give you guys a bit of advice. So stuff that I would do if I could go back. This video is going to be a bit rambly, so I reckon it'll be, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes long. So I don't want to make you sit through that. So if you want to jump ahead to any section of the video, just go in the description below and I'll put timestamps to all the different sections. So I should give a bit of background. My name is Daanish. I'm 23, turned 23 like 2 weeks ago and it still feels weird saying that. But 23 and I'm in my first year of medical school and I'm at the University of Aberdeen. I did my undergraduate degree in biomedical science at Aston University, which is in Birmingham, and we'll get to know why I did that in the story. So I grew up in the UK. I did GCSEs and A-levels and I applied the first time to medicine back when I was doing my A-levels. So I was predicted 3 A's, so everything was going well on the academic side. And I had really good work experience, so I had the hospital, the GP surgery, volunteering in a care home, so that was all good. And I'd done my personal statement and my UCAT score was like, I don't know, average, just above average, probably like around there. And I got an interview, right? So I got an interview for medicine. I thought this is perfect. This is exactly how I wanted things to go. I only got one interview and it was at Nottingham University. Now, back when I got the interview, there weren't as many YouTubers who were medical students at the time, and there wasn't as much information. And to me anyway, like in my school, no one told me about how to apply to medicine or about the application process. No one told me what an MMI was like. I didn't know that I had to do real serious preparation for it, so I went into my MMI with no preparation whatsoever. I'm a really optimistic and confident person, and sometimes it can shoot me in the foot, which is exactly what happened here. I thought, yeah, it's an interview. I like talking. It'll be easy. It wasn't easy. They asked me questions and I just didn't know the answer to some of them. I think my reason for wanting to do medicine was I like science and I want to help people. Now, that's a valid reason to want to do medicine, but you can't say that in an interview because that's not what they like to hear. So yeah, I flopped the interview, obviously. I got rejected. So I had no offers, which meant that I was going to go to do my backup option, which was Biomed, and let's talk about that. So when I was choosing my UCAS option, I didn't really put much thought into it. I just literally typed in Biomed because I knew this was similar to medicine and it's usually what people do who don't get in. And Aston University was the first university in the list. So I just clicked it and I thought, okay, their grade boundaries seem alright, let's go for them. So yeah, that's how I picked Aston. And then when I got my results for A-levels, I got 3 C's, which is not good for wanting to do medicine. On the same day, I got my response from Aston and they accepted me. And I thought, okay, where's Aston? So I had to Google it. And I was like, right, I guess I'm going to Birmingham. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, I moved in and I started uni. Now, when I got into Biomed, I probably made a mistake there. I could have done one of those access courses. If you're someone who hasn't got the grades for medicine, you can actually go to university and you can do one of these courses called access courses. I think if you Google them, you'll find some. Basically, if you get 80% in your first year of that course, they give you an interview for medicine the next year. So you can like just do a 1 year of this degree, get 80%, get your interview, prepare for it, unlike I did, pass it, and then hopefully get to medicine after 1 year. That's a good option if you don't necessarily have the grades. Other than that, you can like redo your A-levels, or you can do what I did, which is the long route, and do an entire degree and then apply. So I'll get into what I did next. So I didn't know about these access courses, so I decided I'm just going to do this whole degree, and after the degree I'll apply to medicine, and hopefully, because I've got this degree ahead of me and I know well ahead of time, I could put some effort in and get a first. unfortunately, I didn't get a first. I got a bit complacent, I got a bit distracted, and I think, you know what the truth is? I think the reason I didn't perform too well prior to medicine is I just didn't want to do any of that stuff. I didn't want to do biomedical science. I wanted to do medicine. So I found it really difficult to study for something that I don't want to do, which isn't great. Like, that's not a reason to not do well, but I mean, now I'm doing medicine. I'm doing great and I'm enjoying my work and I don't mind studying. So I can see the difference now, and I can see that it makes a difference what you're doing and whether you want to do it or not. But obviously, if you want to get somewhere, sometimes you got to put in the work. So while I was doing biomed, it's very common for biomed students to want to do medicine. So I spoke to a couple of other students and saw what other people were doing, and most people were kind of waiting for second year or third year to apply. And I thought, all right, cool, I'll do the same. That seems like the go-to kind of option. I took initiative and I did a bit extra. I went to one of my lecturers, my favorite lecturer, and I was like, dude, I need some help. I want to go into medicine, but I don't know. I need a reference, and I want someone to help me with my personal statement. I need some more work experience, etc., etc. And thankfully, this guy was like, yeah, I help students get into medicine. I've helped a couple of you people in the last year, so you've come to the right person. And basically, he passed me on a chain of people. So I met the dean of the medical school. I met the admissions lead from the medical school. This is in Aston University. I met the guy who runs the placements. I met the anatomy lecturer who was also a plastic surgeon. And all of these people I had meetings with, and they all helped me with my application. So I got my work experience from the surgeon. So I spent like 2.5 weeks with plastic surgery in Birmingham Children's Hospital. The admissions lead helped me choose universities. She kind of explained how to do the application process to me. She told me something that I'd never heard before. She told me that going into medicine is not about having the grades. It's about using your grades and your criteria to your strengths. So if you have a really good UCAT score, you should apply to universities who put a lot of emphasis on the UCAT. If you don't have good A levels, like I did, you should apply to universities that don't really look at A levels. So that's what I did with Aberdeen. Aberdeen did not mind that I had 3 C's. All they cared about was, does he have a 2-1 in a biology related degree? And I did. So that's why I kind of bypassed that and I managed to get in here. If you're applying to medicine, whether you have good grades, bad grades, whatever, have a look at what your strengths are. Go to the universities, call them, email them, ask them what's your selection process, what's your selection criteria, and they will break it down to you. They'll say to you like, oh, we really look at the UCAT score first, and then we do a cutoff, and then we halve the amount of applicants. Then we look at your personal statement, and then we look at your work experience. So then you can think, all right, cool, that's what you're going to look at. I'm not going to apply to you because I'm not really good in those things. But you might find another university who really suit you and what you have. So apply to your strengths, and that's how you're going to get your way in. So back to the story. So I'm in second year and I've got all this help from all these different people. So I'm doing, I'm putting together my application. At the time, actually, I was just getting together work experience, and the reason I didn't apply in second year to start immediately after my final year is I wanted to take a gap year after graduating, because I know that when you get into medicine, it's a lot of work, and then you go into foundation year training, and then you go into specialty training, and then you're at work, so you don't really get time off. So I thought this is the last time I can take 1 whole year out and I can just chill, enjoy myself, travel a bit. But then COVID hit in the middle of my gap year, so all my plans got cancelled, which wasn't great, but we got into medicine, so some good things happened. So when I finished second year, obviously I went into final year, and in my final year of Biomed, I ended up with a 2-1. That's all I had to work with. Like, I graduated and I thought, right, let's do this. Let's do an application now. So this time around, I've got C's in my A levels. I've got 2-1 in my degree. I've got really good work experience. All that was left for me to do was the personal statement and the UCAT exam. So those are the last 2 things I had left, and I had full control of the UCAT. So I thought, if I score really highly on the UCAT, that will help me loads. So that's another thing. If you're applying to medicine, the UCAT test, you have to do it. Like, it only lasts 1 year. So if you've done it now, and you don't get in, and you have to reapply next year, you get to do the UCAT again. Now, when I did the UCAT after I graduated, I had already done it before, so I knew what to expect, but this time I took it more seriously. So I used good resources. There were loads of YouTube videos out at the time. I remember watching Karma Medic, he was very good, and I kind of revised hard for it over summer. I got like slightly above average. I got a decent score, but it could have been higher, to be honest. It wasn't high enough to apply to graduate entry medicine. That's why I didn't apply for the 4-year degree. So I went for the 5-year degree, which is the course I'm on now, because of my UCAT score. You need a really high UCAT score for the graduate entry program, so I don't know if any of you guys are considering it, make sure you check what the cutoffs are. I think they were like 700 to 800 minimum, and I didn't get that. I got like high 600. So anyways, I applied to this university, Aberdeen, and this is the only one that gave me an interview. So I had one interview to go. Now, my interview was January 22nd, 2020. When I went to my interview a year ago, it's quite funny this, I said to myself, if I get into medicine, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to help other people who are in the application process, because I hate the application process. And I think if you don't have support, if you don't have a mentor, if you don't have like, I don't know, if you don't have doctors in the family, it can be really difficult and the odds are really stacked against you, especially when, I don't know, in my position where I didn't even have many, I didn't have great grades to like fall back on. So I recorded these videos when I went to my interview a year ago. So here's me a year ago. In Aberdeen, just at the airport at the moment, waiting for baggage reclaim. Mindset's feeling a lot more calm now. I think just because I'm on my own now, that's something that's going to help with the preparation. I've got today, and it's like 2 p.m. right now. I've got all the way until night. Tomorrow, I've got all day. And then, so today's Sunday. I've got the rest of Sunday. Tomorrow's Monday. I've got the whole of Monday. And then my interview's on Tuesday at 1:30 in the afternoon. So that's plenty of time in the hotel, plenty of time for me to explore the city, go and see the medical school, hopefully find some medical students, ask them some questions, and then I'm hoping by Tuesday morning my prep should be so good that I'll be confident enough to just go in the exam, have a nice lunch beforehand. I'm ideally wanting to finish my prep tonight, which means tomorrow is more relaxed. I will go through sort of a practice run. So I'm going to go to the place where the interview is being held a day before. So when there's other students having their interviews, that way when I go on Tuesday I've got peace of mind that I know exactly where I'm going, how to get there, and there's going to be no issues about timing. Right, got my luggage, time to get a taxi back to the hotel, settle in, get some dinner or something, focus on interview prep I guess. Just want to get settled into the place that I'm in, so yeah, I'll catch you at the hotel. Okay, so I'm in my hotel now. Time is 4:52, no distractions. What I've brought with me is the ISC Medical Interviews book. This book's super helpful. Literally, buy this if you have an interview and read it the entire way through. It literally covers. On top of that, make sure you do verbal practice. Okay, it's one thing knowing the stuff in your head. It's another thing being able to communicate that, being able to say it spontaneously when you're asked. When you're reading this book, you might read a question and then close it and then think of the answer. Because you're studying a certain topic in the book, your mind is already there. Whereas in your interview, you're going to go through 7 different stations and they can ask you anything, okay? So you need to like put yourself in that kind of environment whilst you're at home and whilst you're studying. So like in this environment now, I get a load of cards or pieces of paper just cut up into bits, and each one has a random question on it. I mix them all up and put them in a big pile in front of me, and I go through it one by one. And I answer the questions, and I put a 7-minute timer on. I'll put on a 2-minute timer so I can read the question and have those like 2 minutes that you have in your actual MMI beforehand, and I'll prepare. Then I'll go in and I'll sit down and I'll ask myself through the mirror, why do you want to study medicine? And then I'll answer it, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror. So that's how I'm practicing my body language, my posture, my eye contact, my nodding and all that kind of stuff. Really important that you practice that at home, because there's going to be nerves on the day. There's going to be the added pressure that it's a person you've never met before. Basically, the plan is, I've gone on Google, I've gone on the Medic Portal website, and it says 20 things to do before your medical interview. Now, it's a list that kind of summarizes almost like a specification for the interview. So I'm going to go through the list, start from the top. I haven't read it yet. And for each topic that I asked about, I'm going to set a timer for 7 minutes and try and talk about it in my room. So yeah, basically I'm just going to do a solid 5 hours of revision and see how it goes. So hopefully after 5 or 6 hours, I should be quite well prepped, which means tomorrow, I'm treating today as if my interview is tomorrow when it's actually in 2 days. So that's kind of brought me into that, that final stretch where you just kind of do some intense revision. I'm kind of at that stage now. It's the day of the interview and I'm feeling good. I've prepped nice and hard yesterday. I spent a couple of hours with the medical students, made sure I asked plenty of questions. I found out about the course structure in the university. So I woke up nice and fresh. It's about 7:30 at the moment. It's still dark outside. But got to go have breakfast and then hopefully do a good few hours of preparation and practicing before my interview at 1:30. Okay, so we're back. Yeah, that was me a whole year ago. I looked terrible that morning of the exam. I don't know why I started vlogging looking like that. Like I literally rolled out of bed and started filming. But yeah, that's what I did. I went for my interview 3 days early and I stayed overnight and I knew that they were hosting interviews a day before mine. So I went to the medical school and I sat down with some of the students and I just kind of had a chat with them for a few hours. I asked them about their experience at Aberdeen and they told me a few things that I got to use in my interviews. So they told me about different, I don't know, different parts of the course that you wouldn't really know about had you not spoken to a student. So obviously with COVID you can't do the same thing now, but you can go on social media and you can search for the university and you can find students that way. Okay, well, that summarizes the video. That's my journey to medicine. I don't know how structured that was. I don't know if that made much sense. Uh, I'm quite new to this talking to a camera thing. Like it feels weird right now doing this, but I'll get used to it. So yeah, let me know how that was. Drop me a comment below. What was your favorite bit? What was your least favorite bit? What could I improve on? I'm open to criticism. I just want to get better at doing this. And I'm going to do that by uploading more videos. So you can expect the next video in, I don't know, let's say 2 weeks. Just a couple of points to finish on. If you're applying to medicine, work hard, get the grades. Okay, if you get the grades, it's much easier. You don't have to do this like going around getting a degree or whatever. Let's say you don't get the grades, okay? Look for an access course. Look for a shortcut to get in. If, I don't know, there's no access courses or whatever, think about doing a degree. And maybe if you don't want to spend time doing a degree, maybe look at other countries. You can go to Europe, you can go to Bulgaria, you can go to Slovakia, and you can do like medical degrees there. They don't have as strict grade boundaries as the UK does. There's always an option to go for medicine. Like if you really, really want to be a doctor, it's doable one way or another. So yeah, good luck with it. If you want some advice, if I don't know, if you want some like mentoring of any sort, drop me a message. You can find my socials in the description down below. And other than that, drop me a like on the video. That would be nice, especially if you've watched it this far. Come on, you gotta drop a like. Subscribe, if you want to see more videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. Was that outro good enough? Do I need to do that again? Yeah, I'm gonna do it again. I don't know, should I do it again? Yeah. I I why am I saying it like that? So if you